Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a quick video here on the hit and miss. Just want to let you guys know that I'm still doing it. It's been a while, but a lot of things seem to be stopping me. So from my last video, as you can see, that belt is already gone on the belt drive. Having a hard time finding some metal, especially the brass. But yeah, we're gonna get going on this hit and miss again. Alrighty, I ended up picking up some 6061 aluminum. It's the only choice I had, and it is 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch. It's the only size they had. I wanted to get a little bit thicker, but no go on that. So it does have to be 2.5 high. So we can still work with that. It's cutting it close. This is about 6 inches. They might have gave me like a 1/16 over, but you think they would have gave me a little bit more. Nowadays, 6 inches, you're paying about 35 bucks for this little chunk of aluminum, when you used to get it quite cheaper. Yeah, it's getting hard to come by some of this metal now, but we're going to make do with this. It is 2.5 inches, so we're going to cut this on the bandsaw, and we'll square it up on the mill and get it down to size. This is a cylinder body here that we're going to be making it out of that aluminum. It does have to be 2.5 high, and we got just enough there. I'll just do a skim pass across the top, and we'll make use out of that. We'll be able to do it. And it does have to be 1.5 wide, and just shy of 2.5 there at 280 thou long there. And I have noticed in these drawings there are some discrepancies, and yeah, so you do get an error on these measurements here, because the base part was supposed to be 2 inches wide. So if you do add these dimensions up, like, the 250,000, the 287,000, and then, again, 250 thou, 287, and then the 937, it's actually more than 2 inches. So there are some errors on these drawings. We could always tweak stuff. It doesn't have to be exact. But going over this as well, some things will have to be pretty precise. But once you start getting into the piston and the rings and, valves could be quite tricky, so that's going to have to be pretty precise. And I'm hoping that these measurements are going to work out. If it doesn't, you're wasting a lot of metal, and I don't like to waste the metal, especially these days when it's quite expensive. So I'm just hoping that some of those measurements in the critical parts of the drawing, where it's going to have to be really precise, I'm hoping that they are correct. But we'll encounter those problems when we get there. Well, let's get this cut on the bandsaw. And we're going to cut this up just a little oversize, just so we got enough to work with on the mill. we there yet? Okay, so I got it cut up in the bandsaw, and just put it in the mill, and I'm going to square the block up. I'm dying to see what the finish is going to be like using this shell mill on the aluminum with the new belt drive. I haven't actually tried it yet, so this ought to be interesting. Looks pretty nice, and I wasn't taking a finishing pass. Shiny mirror finish, almost. I'll do a finishing pass last. Well, I took a pass on a couple of sides here, just to show you. With that shell mill, I was running it at about 1100 RPM. It's nice and smooth. Figure I'd show you before the scratch and dent ghost shows up. I have such a hard time keeping a nice finish on aluminum. It always seems to get scuffed up. There's the raw side. But yeah, that's not too bad. Probably could get a better finish if I ran it even at a higher RPM. But it's acceptable. Yeah, so we got this all squared up, and it's nice and smooth and shiny. It's just like glass. But I should make mention there, we only started off with a 2.5-inch block of aluminum there, and the height has to be 2.5 inches. So I just took a skim pass at the top. Didn't have much to work with, but you can see just shy of the corners there. We're right at 2.5, but the corners aren't going to matter. That's because this is going to be milled out on each side anyways. But the piece is nice and shiny. You can see my measuring marks from the micrometer. Told you, it's hard to keep this stuff without a scratch. But yeah, it squared up really well. Now the only thing that I've been thinking about is how I'm going to actually do the radiuses here, because I have to bore this out. Then I'm going to have to do some nice ball end milling here, and I'm just debating how to bore this out right now. If I should maybe do it on the lathe, it might be a little more precise. If I can actually get all the way through, I'm not too sure yet with the type of stuff I have to work with here, because I don't actually have a boring bar for the milling machine, but I'm thinking I might try and set this up so I can do it on the lathe. And like I said, I don't have any digital readouts as well. I'm going to have to put some thought into this, because if I do mill this, I'm probably going to have to make a setup for it. I'm not too sure. I haven't really thought it out. I kind of just, like I said, jumped into this. Maybe mount this to a setup that I can put on the rotary table. I'm not sure yet. Or I might just do it on the lathe. I don't know. Not sure yet. Like I said, I jumped into this. Yeah, that shell mill actually did a really good finish on this. It's nice and shiny, smooth like glass. Fingerprint magnet, soon to be a scratch magnet. Like I said, I'm hoping I don't scratch this up, because it is a nice finish to leave. Like it's acceptable. Like I do have to do a whole pattern, so I don't have any digital readouts. I might have to do this all manually. Maybe use the whole pattern circle calculator in my head, which is just going to give me a headache. My math sucks. But yeah, I don't know how we're going to set this up yet to do the bore and the circle pattern for the holes for the bolts. But I'm going to have to put some thought into that, and that'll give me a brain ache as well. But yeah, this was just a quick video, just to update you guys that I am still doing this. I do want to make one of these, so I'm hoping all goes well. And I don't want to waste the metal, and I don't want to make a mistake, so let's hope all goes well. And let's hope those drawings are within tolerance as well, because that could really mess it up. But alright, if you like this type of stuff for these videos that I'm making, subscribe, like, comment, share. But yeah, I'd love to hear some feedback as well. Alright, have a great day, guys. Take care.